The house was quiet, save for the soft hum of the refrigerator and the occasional creak of the old wooden floorboards. It was late evening, and the family had settled into their usual routines. I had just finished washing the dishes, my mind wandering as I dried my hands on a towel. The sound of muffled voices from the living room caught my attention. Curiosity piqued. I tiptoed towards the doorway, careful not to make a sound. "Mom, seriously, you have to tell me," came the voice of my daughter, Emily. She sounded excited, almost breathless. "I mean, it's not every day you get to see something like that." My heart skipped a beat. What was she talking about? My wife, Sarah, responded in her calm, measured tone. "Emily, you know we don't discuss these things. It's private." "Come on, Mom," Emily pressed, her voice tinged with playful urgency. "You can't just drop a bomb like that and not explain. Your boyfriends, well, you know what I'm talking about." I felt a flush of embarrassment and intrigue wash over me. My daughter was referring to Sarah's new boyfriend, Tom. They had been dating for a few months now, and while I had met him a couple of times, I hadn't really gotten to know him well. The idea that they were discussing something so intimate made my pulse quicken. "Emily, it's not appropriate," Sarah said, but there was a hint of amusement in her voice. "Besides, you're too young to be worrying about such things." "Too young?" Emily scoffed. "Mom, I'm in college. I'm an adult. And besides, it's not like I haven't seen or heard things before. But this is different. It's awesome." I could feel my cheeks burning as I listened. The conversation was getting more explicit by the second, and I wasn't sure if I should intervene or keep eavesdropping. "Awesome?" Sarah repeated, her tone incredulous. "What do you mean by that?" "You know exactly what I mean," Emily replied, giggling. "I saw you two the other day when you thought I was out. I couldn't help but notice. Well, let's just say he's packing some serious heat." There was a pause, and I could imagine Sarah blushing furiously. "Emily, you shouldn't be spying on us. That's not right." "I wasn't spying," Emily protested. "I just happened to walk in on you, and honestly, Mom, I was kind of impressed. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's huge." I swallowed hard, feeling a mix of shock and curiosity. My daughter was being incredibly graphic, and it was clear that she was enjoying the conversation far more than she should be. "Emily, enough," Sarah said firmly, though I could hear the strain in her voice. "This conversation is over." "Fine," Emily sighed, but there was a mischievous glint in her voice. "But you can't deny it's impressive. Maybe next time, you could give me some pointers, since you're such an expert now." Sarah groaned, clearly exasperated. "Emily, please, this isn't funny." "It's a little funny," Emily countered, laughing. "And besides, it's not like I'm going to tell anyone. It's our little secret, right?" I could hear the smile in her voice, and it made me uneasy. The conversation was veering into dangerous territory, and I wasn't sure how to handle it. Should I step in and put an end to this? Or should I let them continue, hoping they would eventually move on to another topic? "Emily, I think we need to talk about this later," Sarah said, her voice softening. "Right now, I need you to promise me you won't bring this up again." "Fine," Emily agreed, though she didn't sound entirely convinced. "But you have to admit, it's kind of cool. I mean, who knew your boyfriend was hiding such a big secret?" Sarah sighed deeply. "Emily, please, just drop it." All right," Emily relented, though her tone suggested she wasn't entirely done with the subject. "But seriously, Mom, You have to give me some credit. I'm not a kid anymore. I can handle this kind of stuff. I know you're not a kid, Sarah replied, her voice gentle. But that doesn't mean we should be having these kinds of conversations. It's still private, and it's still inappropriate. Okay, Emily said, sounding slightly chastened. I get it. No more talking about your boyfriends. You know. Good, Sarah said, relief evident in her voice. Now, let's change the subject. How was your day at school? I took a deep breath, feeling both relieved and unsettled. The conversation had taken a turn I hadn't expected, and it left me with more questions than answers. Should I confront Sarah about it later, or should I let it go, hoping it was just a one-time thing? As I stood there, lost in thought, I heard footsteps approaching. I quickly stepped back, pretending to be engrossed in drying the last dish. The door opened, and Emily walked in, a sheepish grin on her face. Hey, Dad, she said, her eyes darting around nervously. Did you finish the dishes? Yeah, I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. Just finishing up. She nodded, her expression thoughtful. Good. I was thinking maybe we could watch a movie later. You know, just the two of us. I hesitated, unsure of how to respond. The conversation I had overheard was still fresh in my mind, and I wasn't sure how to navigate this new dynamic. Sure, I said finally. That sounds nice. She smiled, relief washing over her features. Great, I'll pick something out. As she turned to leave, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this than met the eye. The conversation between mother and daughter had been revealing, and it left me with a sense of unease. What else had I missed, and how much did I really want to know? Before I could ponder further, the phone rang, breaking the silence. I glanced at the screen and saw Tom's name flashing. My heart raced as I answered, wondering if he had any idea what had just transpired. Hey, Tom, I said, trying to sound casual. What's up? Hey, John, he replied, his voice warm. I was just calling to see if Sarah and Emily were free this weekend. We were thinking of going out for dinner, maybe catch a movie afterward. Sounds good, I said, glancing at Emily, who was watching me intently. I'll check with them and let you know. Great, Tom said, looking forward to it. As I ended the call, I felt a knot form in my stomach. The upcoming weekend promised to be filled with tension and uncertainty. How would I navigate this newfound knowledge, and how would it affect my relationship with Sarah and Emily? Dad, Emily said softly, her eyes searching mine. Are you okay? I forced a smile, trying to hide my inner turmoil. Yeah, I'm fine, just thinking about the weekend. She nodded, her expression thoughtful. Well, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here for you. Thanks, Emily, I replied, feeling a surge of affection for her despite the awkwardness of the situation. I appreciate that. As she turned to leave, I couldn't help but wonder what other secrets lay hidden beneath the surface. The conversation I had overheard had only scratched the surface, and I knew that the truth was far more complex than I could have imagined. With a heavy heart, I resolved to confront Sarah later, hoping that we could find a way to address the issues that had come to light. But for now, I needed to focus on the present, on the delicate balance of family dynamics that had suddenly become so fragile. As I stood there, lost in thought, the doorbell rang, pulling me from my reverie. I hurried to answer it, my mind racing with possibilities. Who could it be at this hour, and what new revelations awaited me on the other side?